I'm Terry White, and welcome back to Design Your Life, the show about customizing and designing your life for the way you live by the unconventional garden. You remember an episode about hydrangea propagation, and I made these winter propagating beds out of these planters because the mandevilla is a tropical and it dies back in the winter, but I use them to propagate my hydrangeas. Today, instead of going directly to the ground with them, which sometimes I do, I am going to pot up all of these hydrangeas into pots, and sometime this summer I may plant them. I may plant them in the fall. I kind of want to wait till all of the hydrangeas come out and see where I can tuck one in. But it's very simple. I have a pot. I have these wonderful lightweight plastic pots, and I have filled it full of Miracle-Gro potting mix that sort of helps mitigate overwatering or underwatering. So I find it to be pretty effective. I filled it up. I have not tamped the soil down because I want it to still be fluffy when I pull these hydrangeas out. And I'm just going to go over here where we stuck them in a few months ago and pull out a section, and you will see how they have roots and they have new leaves.
Oh, they do.
So it's pretty easy. If something doesn't have a leaf or a root by this time, I'm going to throw it in my refuge bin there. But I'm going to make a plant. Just stick as many as I want. And the ones that have the roots on them just make me so happy. But it's not hard to do. It's pretty simple. But you get the idea. I'm gonna stick about probably 25 or 30 stems in here, pretty randomly. Not gonna take a lot of time to think about it. But the one thing I am going to do is clip off the heads now. Whoops. Because it is time and I'm clipping again right above a joint, because the joints are where the leaves tend to want to shoot out. And there we go. Pretty simple. It's pretty warm today. We've had great spring weather. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you come back every time we have a video to see what the COVID has done to Terry and to his garden, because I have so much more time these days to actually do projects. But we are getting ready to get into a little wedding season. But you won't see a whole lot changed outside, other than the fact that the boxwoods are in leaf. And we're going to look at the hellebores when we go up to the moss garden, because I do want you to see how advanced the moss garden has become since the last time we saw it, which was about a year ago. So here we are in one of the hellebore gardens. I just finished completely cutting away last year's leaves. They're pretty easy to tell. They lay flat and horizontal to the ground, and they usually have little bits of winter damage on them. But I've cleaned them all up, and they are so happy.
They're beautiful.
These are the flower that some people call Lenten roses because they start blooming around Lent. Mardi Gras, if you want to do that. But you will also see these are hydrangeas that have been in the ground for a number of years, and they have about the same leaf buddage as what we just planted and to the pot. There will be some blooms on the ones that we have just propagated this year, but it won't be a huge bloom. Next year, they should have caught up and will be really quite spectacular. But you can see down through here, the hellebores. My favorite are the whites. And I also love the greens. But then you see all of this little ground cover here. Those are all the babies from last year. They're really quite easy to seed. They self-seed very readily. But if you will go through and pull the pods out of the center, once they have formed pods, throw them in a bucket and just keep the bucket for a while. Sometime during the summer, you can just scatter them on the ground. Maybe disturb the soil a bit. I covered some that I sowed last year with a very light coat of pine straw, and they are very happy like this little ground cover. It takes them a long time to produce a flower, of 3-4 years, but in the meantime, they're evergreen and they're beautiful. Okay, this is just a possible really, really good trick. I'm trying it out this year for the first time, but you'll remember I rehabbed some copper lampshades that somebody that knew that I loved copper gave to me, and they really are lampshades. I cut out all the mechanics of them, but I'm going to make a pot that touches the ground so that it will stay moist for peppermint. I really, really love peppermint, especially in my mint juleps around Derby time, but I don't like it taking over the small herb garden that I have. So I'm going to try it this year, and I'm just going to fill the pot, and then plant my peppermint in here and see how it does. Okay, here we are in my beloved moss garden. It's been almost a year since we filmed up here officially, and you can see as you look out over the expanse how the bare spots have filled in. This particular moss that I've chosen to do the majority of the planting with is called entodon seductrix, and it likes sun or shade, which makes it really the perfect candidate for my particular space. But I haven't done any major projects up here this year because I wanted the moss a chance to settle and to relax, and it all seems to be going to plan. I hope that you're taking advantage of this beautiful weather and making a list of things that you want to do and get ready. Pick up those plants already at the garden center. Creekside, my favorite, has a wonderful selection. You don't have to put them in the ground right away, but at least buy them because they may not be here later, like my peppermint. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an incredible journey.
Thanks for watching Design Your Life with Terry White, and we can't wait to hear from you. So please comment on this video and let us know what you have planned for spring and what you're going to plant. We want to know what projects you're taking on this season. So comment below this video, find us on social media on Instagram or Facebook. You can also find us on the web at veryterry.live. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you again soon.